What is up, YouTube? Today, we're diving into the best M4A1 attachments and calibrations in Delta Force. The M4A1 has been a staple since launch, but it was just too good. Over the past few patches, the devs have been gradually nerfing it by reducing its damage range and making sure it no longer dominates at every single distance. We used to be able to beam players at 120 meters while keeping fast ADS and great strafing speed, but this is no longer the case. For this season, I have built this M4A1 to fit its new role. It is now meant to thrive in short to medium range fights with a max effective range of around 75 meters if you can learn to control the recoil pattern. The time to kill is still 300 milliseconds and we keep the 45 round magazine, but this setup improves the ADS speed and ADS movement speed significantly to support a faster, more aggressive playstyle. To make that possible, we have traded a bit of stability for big gains in handling and control. The recoil is still easily manageable and now the gun feels much quicker and responsive overall. And if you're using Tempest this season, this build complements her in and out playstyle very well. With all of that said, let's get into the attachments. As always, we begin with a blank M4A1, and let's go to the barrel first, where we'll go for the AR carbon fiber barrel combo. This will increase our range and muzzle velocity by a huge amount, which is exactly what we need here because of all the nerfs. Notice how we're not going for the even longer barrel, which is the AR Gabriel long barrel combo. Although it increases it by 2 more meters, it's not worth it due to the amount of handling that we lose, and again, we're going for a more short to medium range weapon here, so let's go for the AR carbon fiber barrel combo. Next is the muzzle, where we're going for the Bastion horizontal compensator because this weapon, although it doesn't have that much recoil, it does have a weird little S pattern that we want to minimize as much as possible, and this muzzle device is going to do that very well for us. Notice how your original shots would go a little bit past here the neck area, whereas now after the Bastion compensator, your shots would be extremely close to the neck that would basically almost hit. So we get to focus on controlling the vertical recoil instead of controlling so much of the horizontal recoil. Therefore, Bastion horizontal compensator. Next, on the foregrip, the best one that I have found here is still the X25U angled combat grip. It helps the control by quite a bit, both vertical and horizontal, while only really hurting handling and stability by a tiny amount. Now for the upper rail, I would suggest that you put on the red laser light combo because this is going to make your ADS times better, as long as you actually have the laser on during the match. Next, on the left, the right, left, right, upper, all of these patches and rails, we're going to be picking the Ranger handguard panel. Each one of these is going to give us a simple +1 control, but it does add up. If we take a look at the detailed stats for just a single one of them, you notice that it drops our horizontal recoil by quite a bit, vertical a tiny amount, and your firing stability also helps. So just putting these on, the combination of all of them does add up by quite a bit, as in you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 total Ranger handguard panels, which are totally worth it for a weapon like this. Next is the magazine, where the 45 round magazine seems to be the best one, although that it drops our handling by quite a bit. We are going to help this by a substantial amount in a second, but 45 rounds is nothing to scoff at, so let's put it on. And don't forget to put on the Mag-Assist for the extra +1 handling just for free. Now the optic is purely preference as usual, as always. There's even this brand new 2x optic, which is very nice to have. If we look at the little dot, I actually really enjoy this, but you can really choose whatever you want, and I would go for something that is a little bit lifted so that you don't have to use a riser, because risers do hurt your control by hurting your firing stability by a good amount actually. So if you can avoid them, then go ahead and avoid them. Therefore, I would suggest you use the reflex sight instead, which is my favorite because it is already lifted off of the rails. So try to pick something that is already raised up a little bit so that nothing blocks your view. Then for the rear grip, the AR heavy tower grip is always a favorite just because you can put on the grip mount after that, for which we'll be putting on the stable grip base. It will drop our handling by a huge amount, but it'll give us so much control and stability that it's definitely worth it. And last but not least, on the stock, we're going for the skeleton sniper stock. This will increase our handling by a huge amount, which we really needed because all the other attachments dropped our handling by quite a bit. So this +8 is really gonna do it to us. While keeping our handling fairly high, dropping our control just by a tiny little bit, our accuracy really doesn't matter that much because we're not going to be hip firing all the time, and really all that that matters here is that when we look at the detailed stats and we look at the handling, you can see that our current ADS movement speed goes up by a crazy number, which is exactly what we want for a weapon that is going to be used in short to medium ranges. Our current ADS speed is also helped by a huge amount. It all adds up to a great number, especially after the calibration. So let's put on the Skeleton Sniper stock. Now this is the finished build without the calibration, so let's take a look at the detailed stats in total, and you can see that our damage range has increased by a little bit, just a tiny amount here. Those plus 2 meters, you do feel a little bit extra as we go further down the steps. For the first one, you get plus 2, for the second plus 2 more, so on top of that, that is a total of 4, then 6, 8, and so on. Now looking at the control though, which can change due to the calibration and we are going to improve, you can see that you barely have to control any horizontal recoil, which is exactly what we want. And you don't want to be controlling the recoil by having to go down and right and then left and then right and then left. You don't want to have to do this as pattern, so you want to control your horizontal recoil as much as possible using attachments, and your vertical recoil with your actual recoil control, your physical, your thumbs, your hands, your mouse. That's what you want to control it with. We are going to make this even better though, so let's move on to the handling, where you can see the starting numbers here are not the best looking thing, but again, we are going to make this much better after the calibration. And last but not least, on the stability, this number is not going to change very much, but it is a great number. This is a really good number to have, the 21x here. For as high as we're going to have the rest of the stats, this is actually impressive how high the stability can be for this weapon. So now let's go back over here and let's go to the calibration so that you can see how to make the weapon even better. We begin of course with the barrel, putting the weight limit all the way down to the minimum for that extra ADS movement speed, which again is a big deal for short to medium range weapons. On the length, we're going to the minimum also for the extra ADS speed. This is really going to help out at those shorter ranges, of course. We're dropping muzzle velocity and firing stability, but at those short ranges, you're not going to want these. You won't miss these stats at all. Now let's move on to the foregrip, where we move the placement all the way to the maximum here for the extra control. We want to get as much extra control as possible, and the thickness all the way down to the minimum for the extra ADS movement speed, which again, you want to get as much of that as possible. Then on the rear grip, we're moving the weight limit all the way up to the maximum for the extra control also. Plus 6% is nothing to scoff at. That is a huge number. And the thickness all the way down to the minimum for the extra hip fire aim speed, which if you don't know, this is actually affecting your ADS times, as in it is making your ADS time 4% better. The text does not indicate that, but that is what it's actually doing. And now let's go to the stock, where we get the weight limit all the way to the maximum for the extra control once again, and the cheek pad placement all the way to the minimum for the extra ADS movement speed. As you can tell, this is going to be super easy to control and very fast. Last but not least, on the optic, we're moving the eye relief all the way to the minimum so that you can see as much as possible inside of your optics window. That is all we're doing. We're not touching the zoom unless you really want to. Now let's go back here and see the detailed stats on the weapon after we have finished the calibration, which as you can see, the damage fall off multiplier has not changed at all, so we're just going to ignore this. Let's move on to the control and look at this recoil pattern. This is beautiful. This is super easy to control. It's almost a straight line. All you have to do right now is control your vertical recoil. Your horizontal is really not much to worry about. Just go down and to the right just a little bit and you'll basically have the full recoil on exactly the person that you're trying to hit. Very easy to control. So let's move on to the handling now, where you can see the real numbers here, the final numbers. And keep in mind that because we have a red laser on the weapon, this current ADS speed, instead of 377 milliseconds, this is actually 327 milliseconds. Because the red lasers, when they are on, they drop your ADS times by 50 milliseconds if you didn't know that. And your current ADS movement speed has gone up by a huge amount, up to 2.46 meters per second. This is crazy. This is very fast for an assault rifle. So make sure to put it to use and strafe as much as possible in your fights. Last but not least, on the stability, you can see that nothing really has changed here, but the most important stats are your breath sway range, your current breath holding duration, which is extremely high. You can pretty much hold your breath every single time that you're shooting. And why do you want to do that? So that you can get this extra current recoil reduction while holding breath. Might not look like much, but it does help a lot. And if we keep moving down here, you can see that our current movement stability has improved by a lot, down to about half of what the original number was. And your current lens stability while firing is also very good, which you wouldn't really expect it while having this great of handling stats, that you would be able to do this, but you still can, which is very nice has to do. All this does is minimize the amount that your optic is going to shake up and down, and you really need that on the M4. The M4's optic shakes way too much, so this is a very good number for it. And now that you know the stats and we have dialed in our attachments and calibration, let's hop into the firing range to see how it handles. I'm first just going to shoot right here and see how far it goes. I'm not going to control anything, so you can see exactly what the recoil looks like, what the pattern looks like, and as you can tell, that was not bad at all. That was super easy. You should be able to control that quite easily. As I'm going to do now, all I'm going to do is try to keep it inside of that dot as well as I possibly can. This is a very close grouping and you're really not going to have a hard time hitting people. But that was without holding my breath. Now if I do hold my breath while I try to control it, as you can see the little lungs are going down, but it is just as easy and a lot easier actually to control it and keep that tight group. So I do recommend you hold your breath every single time, making it quite easy to hit somebody. Even at 100 meters, it's still easy if you learn the recoil pattern and you ignore the visual recoil itself. The M4A1 has been nerfed a few times to make sure that we use it at modest ranges. This forced me to revisit the M4 once again for like the third time now, but now I am very happy with this build, up to 75 meters more or less. As it stands, the main issue is that the visual recoil does not match the actual recoil, but once you learn to ignore the visual recoil and instead focus on the actual recoil pattern, you will be beaming people at much further ranges than just that 75 meters. That is just the first recommendation until you get used to it. And now that we have the build locked in, let's jump into a fun game in Ascension to see the setup in action. Enjoy! We're in Ascension today. Let's have fun here with the brand new character, the new operator Tempest, and the M4A1. I got a nice little revision for you guys here that's gonna change how you use the weapon due to the nerfs that they have been constantly doing to the M4. Oh, hello. Oh my god. Let's get you here. There we go. As you can tell, this one has a little bit more bounce than the previous. Mainly because I want to really prioritize what the devs were going for. With every single nerf that they have been doing to the M4, they have really shown us that they don't want the M4 to be used at extremely long ranges. So we're trying to make a build here, which is what this one is, that really keeps you within that 75 meter range. That is your maximum now with this type of build. Okay, well that guy's already dead, but I did see two people. Yep. Come on. Hold on. Somebody aiming at me from right there. There we go. 53 meters. Pretty good. Pretty easy at 53. Just really be careful at 75. That is your main range that you really don't want to be caught off guard at. I was not expecting that, was he? Like, nobody else had a weapon in this game. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I wonder if the shock does anything to the vehicle. Let me see if it stops it. Nah, it did not stop anything. Okay, let me get out of here. This is my first game of the day today. So if I miss a couple extra shots, you already know I'm not warmed up. Gotta make excuses. Let's go. Okay. Never mind, doesn't matter. My teammate got him. We're doing way too well right now. Quite well this early. Somebody right behind. There's so many of us here. Let's do this. Don't forget that your roll does reset. Oh god. I cannot see anything. Your roll does reset every single time that you get a kill. Just like Byron's jetpack. Whoa, what did I just see? Let me get out of here. Get me out of here. I love this rope. Get you. You too. There's one more somewhere around here. Whoa, 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 whoa. Stop it. Throw that right there. I see your little flashlight. That's why I don't like using flashlights. You can really see people, even through smokes. Oh, that was bad. Okay. Almost got me. He almost did it. But that's what we're building for today. All that handling allowed us to aim down sights a lot quicker than he did, and to keep our ADS movement speed really high. I see somebody down here in the minimap, but I don't know if they're right below. They are. They're right inside. Ooh, wait. There you are. I saw him go up the ladder at the last second there. Just roll into cover. Should be able to hit him one more time. There we go. Yeah, perfect. 55. The best part is, too, that although, yeah, sure, our stability is worse, stability, all that it really helps with is your visual recoil. So if you learn the actual recoil pattern, you don't really have to worry so much about stability. It's very nice to have at those extreme long ranges, though. We're kind of going crazy right now. Let me just back up. I do have my ultimate, so let me use it. Get a second life. It's always nice to have. Look at all these people, man. All right, we're clear. I got you, team. Using the M4 at these close ranges is kind of really nice right now. This is kind of wild. You would think that 300 milliseconds of time to kill wouldn't be good enough, but it is. Definitely is. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Hold on, hold on. 3 points. Give me them. Please. Hold on. Okay. That guy almost killed me. Would have been embarrassing. I, can't figure out who to shoot at right now. There's so many of them. I keep wanting that to work, but I really don't think that it works. Like, one bit. I didn't even get an assist for that. Yeah, it doesn't work. If you wanted to know if it could shock enemy vehicles, that was definitely a confirmation that it does not work. One to the right. There's always... Okay, get that tank out of here. Let's go to the other side. I like to go right above this so that I don't drop into that little section where they can actually see me in. And then I'd like to drop on the right. There's a smoke here. Maybe that helps me. Hope they don't see me. There's usually somebody on the right over here. Yeah, there is. Throw that. Okay, well, it doesn't even matter. So all she did was get up there. Hello. Roll away. I did not mean to climb that. That was not good. Oh, hello. My teammate's all the way over here. Let's go around them. Hell yeah. What the... Wait a minute. What is that? I'm glad I looked to the right at that perfect moment. I didn't know he was there. Well, it looks like the going around thing did not work, so let's just go straight at them. I got my ultimate out. That means I get 2 lives right now. Really have no idea where that guy is, but I shot him enough times in the face. That was good. Only has 6 rounds right now. We do have 45 rounds total, just like the last build. I do feel like that's a perfect number for the M4A1. I cannot see anything. There's so many rockets being thrown this way. And I think it's by my own team, too. Let's go all the way around to C1. Let's go, team. We're doing very good right now. I got 39 kills. And we have way too many tickets left over. So we're definitely looking good right now. Come to the side here. I know there's gotta be... Oh, okay, that's actually a lot more than I thought there would be. The guy saw me. As long as nobody jumps out of nowhere here. Throw that out. Maybe shock him. Wow, that's a couple of you in that one little corner. But it's all good, though. Oh, there's somebody right behind, isn't there? Saw them on the minimap, but it might have been just one of Engineer's abilities. The little drone. Wait, how are these guys alive? Those are enemies. Oh my goodness, team. Oh god. Hold on. Use my ultimate here. Good to go. Get a couple of kills. Already at 45. Been very good. Come to the side here, because they're gonna keep showing up from the front. So if I lay down right here, they're gonna have a hard time actually getting me. I can probably get them pretty well. Ooh, he saw me. I don't see them. Oh! There's so many of them up there. We're doing so well, team. We're doing very well. These guys are alive. I just jumped up. Oh, no, please, no! Oh, I thought I had it. Goodbye, world. Hello. Bam. That's why you want ADS speed. Or ADS movement speed. Because I've been able to strafe so well. People keep missing their shots on me. Just because of how quickly I can move side to side. Team is already on the area. Get you up here. Gotta remember, the stability, the visual recoil is just visual. And we do have just the right amount of stability to not have too much visual recoil and still be able to hold your breath to reduce the recoil. I thought there were... Oh, hello. Not expecting that one. Got you good, got you good. Let me run forward now. Kind of want to go up the ladder here. Wait, does this work? Hold on. Oh god, hold on, no, no, wait. I'm still alive. Let's go. Oh my god. Oh, I had 1 second left to live. Ultimate. And then I saw her, but I don't know if she went... Oh yeah, she went the other way. Oh, I can't roll if I'm prone. I just found that out. I wonder if I'll even be able to get enough points for a guided missile. We are finishing this one a little bit too quick. A whole bunch of their enemy team left. Yeah, there's not that many people on the enemy team anymore. As soon as we started winning hard, they left. Got you there. Gotta cancel your reload sometimes. Gotta make sure not to forget to do that. M4, every single match that I've had lately with the M4, the game has kind of gone like this. We've been doing really well, and then all of a sudden, the enemy team leaves. Only got 2k more points until a guided missile, but I do not think there's a chance that they last long enough for me to get it. He was not... Oh, hello. Do I live? No, that would have been crazy, no? What a win from my team. That was wild. I barely got 60 kills this match in a 19-minute game. That would have been insane if it would have gone longer. Actually ended up with 65. That just proves that the M4A1, at least this new version, just how the devs wanted it. A nice medium range to short range weapon. It's very useful. I highly recommend you try it out. In the comments down below, let me know what you thought of this M4A1 build for Season 5, and if you have a way to improve it even more. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you on the next one. I will out. And your current